Hi, I'm Shana Schutte, author, speaker, and dating and relationship coach for Single Over 30. All right, so this week, my husband Clark's going to join me and we are going to answer the question, how do you let a man know that you are attracted to, that you are interested in him? I get this question all the time. It's a really common question and I hope it's helpful for you, and stay tuned. All right, Clark, so what do I do if there's a guy that I'm interested in, I'm attracted to him, and I want to let him know that I'm interested in him without saying it?
By you mean a person, not you personally. Okay, let's go there.
Yes,
Okay.
not me personally.
Okay, just the way you phrased
But-
it was a little concerning.
Yes.
No, so seriously, okay, if you have watched this for any period of time, you know my fundamental belief about men, and you need to understand this because it is true 90% of the time, men are insecure. We don't want to fail. More than anything in life in the world, we fear failing, not performing well, being disrespected, whatever that is. But the question is important because you do need to let the guys know if you're interested. If you're interested in a guy, you got to let him know somehow. Don't not let him know. If you're interested in a guy and you don't act like you're interested in the guy, he's going to assume you're not interested in him, and he's not going to want to risk failing, and it's going to be over more often than not. So how do you let him know?
Before we
Yes,
say
ma'am.
how do we let him know, what does it look like? You said if you act like you're not interested. What does acting like you're not interested look
Well,
like?
I understand a lot of people are shy and insecure, but if you're going out to dinner and you just kind of look at your menu and don't really talk to the guy, he's going to assume you're not interested. Not that you're shy or nervous. He's going to assume you're just not into him. Mm-hmm. And he's not going to be. He may not want to ask you out. He might feel like you like him, and you would even accept a second date from him.
And that principle even applies if you haven't gone on a date. Let's say there's
Sure.
a guy that you just are attracted to and that you like, maybe from work or
Yeah.
a social organization or something. If every time he comes around you clam up because you feel afraid, he's going to assume that you do not like him.
Right.
So what are your suggestions on how to show
It
interest?
depends. Everybody's different, and it's got to be something you're comfortable with at an appropriate stage in the relationship. There's some things you can say after you've been together for a couple of months than you wouldn't say when you've been there for a couple of minutes. But act like you're interested, respond. Compliments are huge. Again, stroke the guy's ego, not superficially, not insincerely,
sincere.
don't gush, but compliment him. You can tell him, even if it's your first meeting and you enjoyed your time, tell the guy that. When you're leaving, just say, you know what, I really enjoyed our time together.
And
Thank you.
Could you say,
know?
I enjoyed our time together. I hope we get to do it again.
Sure. I mean, honestly, guys, ladies, guys need that kind of, encouragement, and security.
So I often say that dating and relationships, especially in the initial stages, they're like tennis. So one person hits the ball, the other person hits it back. So if you take me out or if you compliment me, then in order to test, kind of see where you are, I might compliment you back. Or
Right.
another thing I could do is, and we had a discussion about this, so we talked about this. I could put, just lightly put my hand on your shoulder. Nice to see you, right? And you said, touch and release, sort of like catch and release with
Yeah.
a fish, but touch and release. And why did you say don't,
Well, if it's a long or inappropriate kind of
overt,
touch,
yeah.
a guy may interpret that as an invitation for him to respond in kind, which is probably not what you meant.
Or respond in a way that you may not appreciate, right? Or sexually.
But I tell you, it'll go a lot. Just say, oh, I gotta tell you something, and you just put your hand on his shoulder for a minute. That's cool.
Yeah,
Guys
he'll
will
get
like
it.
that.
Yeah.
Guys like that. Yeah, because you're breaking down that barrier a little bit, and
And if he's interested, he's going to pick up on it, right?
You'd hope.
Yeah. If a guy is not interested, he's not going to respond to these things. So look him in the eye. If he says something funny, laugh at it, share a laugh together. That closes the distance between two people. Compliment his character. Let's say he is a leader at your work and you can say, you know what, you do such a great job at that. You're such a talented person. Also, don't act the same with everybody. Treat him differently, right?
Yeah, that's
don't
good.
don't put
Sure.
your hand on everyone's shoulder. He's going to think that you're just like that with everyone.
Yeah.
You know, you could even, you know, give him a hug and pat him on the back, or a light pat. But again, if you're not sure, then reciprocate to what he's already done and kind of up the ante a little bit, maybe, right? To see if he's going to respond back.
Yeah, if it's appropriate.
Yeah,
Sure.
and at some point you could even say, hey, let's say you have a common interest, let's say you both like to go hiking, you could say, hey, you know, I'm always looking for new hiking friends.
Yeah.
Would you like to go
Sure.
with me
You
sometime?
can initiate a date that way.
Right.
Hey, I'm thinking about taking a hike on Saturday. You want to go hike somewhere? Hey, I'm thinking about doing this.
Right. But again, you wouldn't do that at the very beginning. You're not going to go up
Probably
to a
not.
guy who you haven't had any kind of contact with and don't know anything about him and say, hey, I want to go out with you. That's going to be
Probably not.
a little creepy.
I like to use that word. That's creepy dating.
Creepy
That would be
dating.
creepy dating.
Yes. Okay. All right. Do you have any other thoughts?
No.
Yeah.
I will let I will let the expert give the advice. I'm just here for
Yeah. Just
the
remember.
male perspective.
Just remember, dating's like tennis. You know, a light touch, a compliment, a look in the eye, a question to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, it's all good.
Ask him about his interests, all that stuff.
Guys like that stuff.
All right, and act interested. Don't have
Yeah,
your head down.
that's
Don't
the
clam
main
up. Be yourself.
Yeah.
All right. We hope that those things have been helpful, and remember that the dream that you have to love and be loved is possible. And we'll see you next time.